back, Internet. Welcome to my friend's house, which is a podcast about fighting games and more times than not, Mortal Kombat. This episode, I'm joined by Junie, and we're talking about things like Combat Pack 4, whether or not this is going to be the last update for Mortal Kombat 1, and whether or not we're going to see Taven and Dagon. And we also touch on some stuff about the Mortal Kombat 2 movie coming up. So, let's jump into the podcast right now. Possibly Combat Pack 3. Okay, well, yeah, what do you have to... So I'm guessing you believe that there will be a Combat Pack 3. Is that the case?
I believe in my whole heart, honest to God, I believe there is something going on. Because if you really think about it, Madame Bo literally leaves the cameo characters incomplete and is left with one character left. And before we even got Madame Bo, supposedly there was two cameos that were actually completely done, and they have no choice but to put them out in the game. And I'm pretty sure that one of them had to be Madame Bo. So there is, without shadow of a doubt, a new cameo coming as well. And I think it's probably going to drop within the summer or probably the second year.
Okay, before you get into that, and I want to ask you who you think that cameo would be, but before you get into that, I want to counter with this. What about the MK11 character select screen? That character select screen, people also thought was incomplete and that there was going to be more coming, and it turned out that wasn't the case. Do you think that this might be something similar to MK11?
I mean, that is the issue here, because I am taking every part of information that I have with a grain of salt, because we all know how that goes.
Okay.
It could be real, it could be fake, but we all know that it's out there now, and yeah, there needs to be at least some type of explanation, regardless.
Okay. So, with
So,
that being
I
said,
said
oh,
no.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So actually, with that being said, I was actually saying, you know what, I would say screw it, and might as well just like talk about it, and only talk with you about the information that I know, and see like if we could debate about it, or pretty much predict about what can be showing up.
Okay, what information is this?
Well, here's the shit, right? So first things first, there was that picture that I had, and I don't know how old that is, but that's the funny thing about that whole procedure, is that I'm pretty sure that they haven't even started that new project yet because of Mortal Kombat 1. And I feel like if you're going to keep on contending to it, then that means yes, you're going to be there. And another type of evidence is the combat cast. Usually, right, when it comes down to like the final DLC character that everybody's been saying, this then they will say this is the final one, this, that, and the third. We'll come back with one more patch update, and then that's it. You know what I mean? Like something like that. But they actually said, we will see you next time. So honest to God, that really means that there's something coming, whether it's a cameo or another new main character. Because mind you, on the other side, in the main character side, there are 3 slots ready to be overtaken.
Did they say it would be the last thing on MK11 on the last Combat
Uh,
Cast when they did? What was the last pack that we got? Was it with Melina and Rambo?
yeah, Melina,
Ram-
Rain, and Rambo. Yeah,
Did they mention that was going to be the last thing? I don't remember.
I, I, I probably did, but then again, like my mind was kind of foggy about that, because like I was more into the Spawn and Joker reveal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But also like I literally learned Rain and Rambo like off rip. Like I didn't even look at the combat cast that much when it came to that. Like I was like, nah. I just want to try them for myself.
Nice,
See how it
nice.
goes. If I like them, I like them. If I don't, I don't. And turns out I actually do. I actually do fight with them. So,
Huh,
but
interesting. So
yeah.
you think that there's
What's
gonna
your questions?
well, okay, well let me ask you this. Do you think or it's more of a would you rather. So whether or
Okay.
not there's gonna be a Combat Pack 3, we don't know for certain, but if you had the choice
Hmm.
of Combat Pack 3 in let's say 3 months or Combat Pack or I'm sorry, or you get a new Mortal Kombat in 2 years, which would you rather?
To me, I rather get a new combat pack because at least you guys are still like messing with the game, and also it would mean that at least you're still balancing it to the point that you're getting towards the end of balancing, and then yeah, I think combat pack 3 will actually give the game an actual good run for everybody's money.
Okay. And who would you want to see in Combat Pack 3? Do you have anyone in particular?
See, that's the crazy part. It could go anywhere.
Yeah, I know it could go anywhere, but what I'm saying is, what would you want to see?
Well, okay. First off, I would like, I would actually like Hotaru to be a cameo because I felt like he has the moves of a cameo, well, special moves of so. Um, and yeah, like he was like just one of those characters that was just like it was there, but it wasn't like in a serious type of way until like Armageddon kind of like pointed out as to I don't know, my bad. Deception pointed out as to like, how was he important and shit. And then
Hmm.
afterwards, like it just basically explains as to like, why not a main character instead of a cameo? Because basically like with Hotaru is just basically the way he is. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I feel like personally, like, yeah, he could be a main, but I feel like his fighting style needs to be upgraded. Hard body.
Hotaru?
That was
Man,
his
how
problem
did
back
how
in
did
the
he
day.
even
Yeah.
fight? Hotaru was like he had that
It was like a, well,
projectile
first
that
of all,
hit
he
the
had a
ground.
staff, I believe. Right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he had that. He had those wannabe bicycle kicks that he had.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
So you'd want to see
and then
Hotaru
he
as a
had,
character, not a cameo?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And also like personally with Otaru, like he could act like, kind of like Baraka with his fucking flag. You know what I mean?
Okay. Where he can plant it
You know,
to get
because
an effect.
yeah, he could plant it to get him like a fucking like a steady offense or defense.
Okay, I dig that.
But there's that. Um, I do want to know how Jade is gonna work here.
Interesting.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I
So,
do want to know how Jade is gonna fit in this timeline.
I mean, if
Because
she's, you think
make
she's
no
definitely
mistake,
gonna be
she
there?
is. I wholeheartedly think that she can be.
Okay.
First of all, the data mines said that she can be there, and Inner Loco stated that Jade is pretty much an absolute. Oh shit. Um, she's basically an absolute, and now the way I see it, I'm like, so I could imagine like Jade going up in this bitch and pretty much stating that, I don't fuck with you, Katana. Because you know in the
But
in the first timeline they were best friends. So I could imagine in this time they don't fuck with each other.
right. Well, let me
It
ask
would
you
be
this though.
funny.
So, well, let me ask you this. So, you're saying that Inner Loco basically confirmed that we will see Jade, but didn't wasn't it Inner Loco that mentioned this would be the last thing that we get?
Yes, yes, he did. He did say that Combat Pack 3 could be what it gets. But that's why I always take every part of information with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Always. Um but also with with how Mortal Kombat 1 is, you know what I mean? I feel like what's his name can fit here. Um
Who's that?
you're gonna be shocked because I'm not gonna lie to you. You're really gonna be shocked.
Okay.
But I could feel like maybe literally pulling a hat trick, Taven or Dagon.
Really? I mean, I know that
They were
they've been
mentioned.
going. Yeah, they're mentioning endings, and I know that they're doing a lot of 3D era characters in MK1, but Taven and
Yeah,
Dagon,
and that's also
really?
but that's the thing though. They're literally working behind the scenes and we don't know what the fuck is going on. But you know what I'm starting to think too?
What's that?
At some point they're gonna be villains.
Taven as well?
Taven as well. But he's probably gonna end up the villain that turns good after. You know what I mean?
Okay. I mean, what makes you say that? Just because you think they're switching things up?
No, because I probably possibly could feel like they were misunderstood. You know what I mean? Like people give off misunderstandings about each other. You know what I mean? And obviously with how Chaos Reigns played out, it was just pretty much a misunderstanding between Chaos and non-Chaos. You know,
I
like
suppose that's
between
how you
those
could
two
that's how
realms.
you could put it.
Yeah, but I just personally think that Taven or Dagon, because I literally said or they could literally fit in this timeline because of the fact is that one, they are mentioned, and two, they are literally the fucking sons of Dilia and Argus, which they still are mentioned as well. So it's like it leads with a head scratcher. It's like what can what else can we predict that can come out of nowhere, out of left field? You know what I mean? They've already
Yeah.
mentioned Onaga. They've already mentioned Taven, Dagon, Delia, Argus.
So that
Like,
brings up another point as far
and
as
then Orin. And then Orin came out of the cut in
or
fucking Chaos
yeah,
Reigns.
Chaos Reigns. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that brings up another point. So check this out. We have a lot of storylines that have not been wrapped up yet. So we have General Shao's rebellion. We have Onaga's return. We have Rain, kind of a bad guy, kind of not. We have Natara. We have Shang Tsung and Quan Chi still out there. Shang Tsung, it looks like he found his island, and
Yep, that's
Quan
true.
Chi's trying to, I don't know, mix some stuff up. So we have a lot of
Hmm.
storylines for enemies. Do you think it's a good idea to go with bringing in someone like Taven and Dagon, or should we actually fully explore some of the storylines that we currently have going on?
I feel like personally they would fit perfectly because of the fact is that we could actually see where Taven and Dagon can really go from here. At least now we could actually pay attention and actually find out as to, you know, will they be there for more than one game just because of this new timeline. You know what I mean? This new
Okay.
timeline, anything is possible with them. So that means personally, if they bring out Taven and Dagon early, it it's gonna be crazy.
I
Like
would
we
like
about
to
to see a
see.
whole bunch of
I would like to see them hang around more than one game. To be honest.
yeah, because like it just doesn't make sense how okay they got sent to the stalagmites of Orin and Karo to basically go to sleep for a number of years to get ready for a freaking tournament. Like, bro, no, I want to see like the whole freaking process. Like before you even freaking wake them up, I want to see the whole damn process. Like, I want to know like how like did they train? Like when did they started like getting their powers like that? You know what I mean? Like I want to see it, especially Dagon, because Dagon was like not like explained very well. You know, like he was just about power, yada yada yada. Oh, I took your mother and father's life, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? Like, bro, what's the reason? On some Cardi B shit. What is
Yeah,
the reason?
I mean, they did kind of go over the reason he went insane because he woke up too soon. The dragon woke him up too soon, but it would be nice to actually see it in story mode instead of just being told.
Yeah, and I feel like personally, yes, while you're saying all of those things, that could literally happen in the DLC. What I was just talking about.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I could tell by the time like we'll get through all of those villain arcs, and then them figuring out like what who's gonna fucking be the main character this time around with this fucking new story. Um, yeah, it all depends on what can happen at the end of that. Because then after that, then we figure out how to include the new timeline with them into the DLC, just like Chaos Reigns.
Okay, I feel you. I mean, to be honest, I really hope that MK1 continues. Like, I at the very least, I want to get another story mode expansion because I feel like Chaos Reigns was not meant to end the story of MK1. The way it ended was very anticlimactic, and I feel like they had more stuff to cook afterwards. So I hope we do actually get to see what they were planning to end the story on instead of just ending on Chaos Reigns.
And you know what's funny about that whole procedure is that I literally thought the same fucking thing when I played it myself.
Yeah, it
So
ended
basically,
very non-dramatic.
when I played it, I was like, wait, what? I'm like, ain't no way we're gonna end it like that. And you guys wanted to end like that? You gotta be kidding. But yes, I do agree with you. It needs to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that because the way it ended was weird. And also, I really feel like you're definitely setting up something if you ended it like that.
Yeah, it that felt like a side story. That didn't feel like the end of the MK1 story.
E- exactly. And that's the crazy part about this whole scenario. I think that they have a third one, and the way I see it is that they said it themselves. They wanted to make it bigger than Mortal Kombat 11. So why not do a third story so that you can make it bigger, like you said, instead of having two parts of a DLC, you now have three.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel
And
like
then,
that's where they were going, and hopefully that actually does
oh
come to
yeah,
fruition.
and I really hope so too because personally, it'll be a letdown if that's the case, because you know for a fact that you're just rushing yourself
Yeah, I agree.
right then and there. Like you'll be screwed, and next thing you know, like the next game is gonna be, eh. And yeah, you may work about these games behind the scenes. You know what I mean, while you're working on the main game that you're concerned about, but you know how much time consuming that shit's gonna be. That's why I never talk shit about the people that make the games That's how
Yeah.
they want it.
Yeah, I mean, I do. It's a double edged sword for me because I feel like there is some. I don't want to say blame, but I feel like there are things that NetherRealm could have done better. But ultimately, I mean, I think what they've given us is it's a fun game to play. Like the actual gameplay is fun. I just feel like there's some other things around it that could have been done. Like for example, I really want rooms, online rooms,
Oh
because
yeah.
I feel like it's so
Oh yeah.
difficult to. Or, I don't know if you remember a while back we did a King of the Hill in MKX and it just filled up because people could just
Mm-hmm.
find the room. But when you do an MK1, you have to individually invite everybody,
Invite people,
right?
or
And
you just
then
join a casual.
or
Yeah.
join a casual, or and then God forbid if someone drops out or has a disconnect, you have to start a whole new one just to bring that person back in, and it's just like it it takes away from the experience. So I really wish that they did rooms, and if they do continue with MK1, forget cameos or forget characters or even the story. I feel like give me rooms. That's the number one thing that I want for MK1
And
is
I feel like,
online rooms.
if they were really gonna like literally, you know what I mean, like literally complete it, they would have said like, complete or ultimate or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? I'm
Oh,
very
okay.
sure that
That's a
they
good
would
point.
rename it.
They didn't do that, huh?
Yeah, because remember, MK9 started the whole shit.
With
You know what I
complete.
mean?
Yeah.
Nine was complete. 10 was XL. 11 was ultimate.
Ultimate. Yep.
This one,
Yeah, they haven't done anything similar to that, so that doesn't go by what they've established. So I mean, hopefully you're right. That's a good point.
and also I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna stick with Chaos Reigns forever. That's for sure.
Right, and the fact that you can switch your title screen, I leads me to believe that they were allowing you to have the option of at least one of three. I kind of
Yeah,
feel
and I
like
feel
three
like
is their
personally
magic
there has to
number.
be a third one. Yep.
But
And that's where I'm heading at too.
the thing is,
You know,
I
they're trying to
think
like make it a trilogy, maybe? Pun
right,
intended?
right, and I think that's what they intended, right? I think that's what Ed Boon wants to do, but is he being allowed to do that? Is the question. Because it might be out of his hands. It might be, yes, this is what we want to do, but but WB or the powers that be won't allow that to happen.
Right. That's understandable.
I mean, hopefully it's not the case, but it's just like
I,
last
I'm
time.
I'm hoping it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not.
with
But go
MK11,
ahead. You were saying?
yeah, with MK11, Ed Boon said that he wanted to support this game support 11 longer than any other game, and it turned out that wasn't the case because of WB. And then,
But
and then he
obviously,
said,
he held it down for 4 years, didn't
I
he?
mean that it wasn't until 4 years that we got the announcement of MK1,
Next one.
but they didn't. I don't think they really supported the game for 4 years. Did they? When was the last support given for MK11? I think they just
Probably
were.
probably like 2021, 22.
I think it. I think it was right before COVID. No,
Cause
because COVID completely
yeah,
stopped anything. So that's why they couldn't support the game, and that's why they couldn't come out with anything else. So 4 years was how long it took from MK11 to MK1, but we didn't have 4 years of support for MK11. So hopefully that changes with MK1. Hopefully we do get a lot of years of support. But even if that's not the case, like I felt like I don't really need support from the creators to continue enjoying a game. Like I kept playing MK11 even though they weren't coming out with anything new But I feel like a lot of newer players, they need something new to be able to be interested in the game. Or is that just me? Have you seen that?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like with everything that's going on between NetherRealm Studios and WB, I just really need to like. I feel like we really need to voice our opinions with them because like I feel like WB doesn't really like listen, to what the people like not what the people are saying, but like I'm talking about like the people in the studio are saying to them. You know what I mean?
What do
And
you
I feel
mean?
like there has to be I feel like there has to be like a little conflict going on with that shit, either financially or something like that. Because now it got to the point that now WB is actually saying, yeah, we're actually gonna put you out there now. Like there had to be a little conflict before, like WB said, you know what, fuck it, we'll fund, and we'll get you out there more often. Because look at how Sub Zero's now in Fortnite. I don't even got him, but it's crazy how he's right there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure something like that was in the works for a long time before all that red tape got worked through and got approved and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that that Mortal Kombat is being represented in other things.
Yeah, and supposedly it's actually coming to Rocket League as well.
Mortal Kombat is going to be in Rocket League.
Yep. Supposedly there's gonna be some new designs for cars that involves Mortal Kombat. So that's a whole nother different scenario. And
Mortal
mind you, I actually
Kombat.
play Rocket League a lot more than you know
MK1.
Fortnite. So I rather, yeah, I'll pay for that. I would not mind. I'd be like, oh, Scorpion, give me that. You know what I mean? Like I'll definitely do that. But yeah, for Fortnite and stuff like that, it's like I'm 50-50 about it. But I do understand now that they're actually like appreciating it because it's like I don't understand as to why you can't appreciate a game that's actually giving you money and fans worldwide.
What do you mean? Who do you feel is not appreciating it?
WB,
WB.
yeah.
Yeah.
Before they even said we're gonna start focusing on Mortal Kombat, Batman, and all these other shits, they didn't give a fuck. Hell, they
Yeah.
were gonna sell NetherRealm Studios.
I mean, we don't.
Well, not just, but
No,
yeah.
I mean, no one knows for certain how they feel behind the scenes. We just know whatever uh, announcement they give us. But I mean, right now, I'm pretty sure they're really appreciating MK because it's one of their only money makers, pretty much. And if not, they should be.
I mean, they have to literally put trust into NetherRealm Studios at this point because they know what they're doing. They know exactly how to plan this out. It's just that the only problem is that us fans don't know when to fucking shut up. Be patient.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I do feel like WB does have a tighter hold on them than they probably should.
I don't know. For me, like I with all of the things that I've read about and stuff like that, like nah. Like at this point, like it just leads me to think that NetherRealm Studios is kind of in a toxic relationship with WB.
In a toxic relationship.
I'm not trying to be my bad. I wasn't even trying to laugh at that point, but yeah, no, it's just I don't know. It kind of gives that, and that's what pisses me off about them. Like because they know for a fact that they could have pulled off Injustice 3 and Mortal Kombat 1 at the same time.
Maybe, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about, right? There's probably I don't even know. I'm guessing WB is a public company, so I don't know if maybe they're not making the what's the word I'm looking for? That they're not making the revenue that shareholders want. So instead of and we know for a fact that Injustice sells less than MK does. So maybe they're just like, okay, because we're in a hole right now, let's only focus on the most money making projects that we can. Like we're not gonna take any more risks on something that may or may not pan out. That's my guess anyway. But I can understand if they're
Right.
in a boardroom and they're like, all right, look, Injustice makes money, it makes profit, but we need to make the most profit right now because we're in a deficit. So if that's the case, then
Yeah,
I
but
can understand.
if you really think about it, okay, because really put this together, I already knew that there was about a lot of things that could have been happening with Mortal Kombat. If you really have, if you know, WB and all of us has really paid attention, why did all those movies came out?
Oh, what movies?
Why is the second movie coming out and actually coming out better than the first with 27 fights and gorier and bloodier and with Ed Boon's approval? Like,
Well, we don't
it's
know if it's
like
better
why
than the
why
first yet. We don't know yet, but but there is another one coming out. But what do you mean by that? What are you getting to?
like I'm getting at that basically like they should have known during this whole time that MK was always gonna be the moneymaker.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they knew that, but when you said that they could have done Mortal Kombat and Injustice, they're probably like, well, we're not going to give you the budget to do Injustice because we're only focused on the stuff that makes us the most money, and that's probably why we
No,
didn't get
but
another Injustice.
the thing is, right, is that with Injustice, I don't know if you even heard the rumors, but Injustice 3 could have been is well, not could have been is thinking about being a mature rated game.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I wanted Injustice 3 because Injustice 3 could mean that we can actually see the real fucking dark side of things, no pun intended. But it'll be as graphic as the novels should be, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that, but I don't know if anyone in a boardroom would be like, okay, if we make Injustice mature, number one, would that translate to more sales? And number two, would WB be okay with that? Would the comics portion of WB be okay with a more graphic, basically Justice League video game? So I feel like there's stuff
Well,
there that
uh, I can actually answer one of those questions. Um, Ed Boon actually got the approval to do a mature rated Injustice. So yes.
okay, and that might be the case, but even so, would that translate to more sales for Injustice? And even if there's a chance that it might, do we have it in the budget right now to take a risk on it being more, selling more instead of going with the sure thing? And I just
Well,
think
I feel
WB
like
just wanted to go with
personally,
the sure
if
thing.
and that's great, but the thing is that if they really want to pull off Injustice 3 and actually make it happen, let Combat Pack 3 happen.
But that's the thing. I don't think they want Injustice 3 to happen. I think they want to do projects that make them the most money. Like whether it could be called Injustice 3, it could like it doesn't matter what the project is. I think WB just wants the whatever it is that they make to make the most money.
Yeah, but I feel like if I'm telling you, like if they do Combat Pack 3, right, they will have enough money to be like, okay, you can actually make the game that you wanted to do.
Perhaps.
That's
And
it.
this is one thing I was talking to with a buddy of mine. Does it? And nobody knows the answer to this unless you work for WB or possibly NetherRealm. But
Okay.
is it more financially beneficial to do a new combat pack and do the microtransactions, or is it more financially beneficial to put out a new game? Like, what generates the most money? And I believe whatever that
Obviously, a new
answer.
game.
So that's what you would think, right? But most games don't really make their profit back until after the first year, unless maybe Mortal Kombat just makes their money back faster. I don't know because we've never seen the numbers. But if that's the case, if you say obviously a new game, then why would WB greenlight Combat Pack 3? Why not just tell them start working on the next game?
Because it's already been past a year, and it's
Right.
about to hit the second year.
Right, it's been past a year for MK1, but if a new game would make more money than a new combat pack, then why do the combat pack?
That's a good remark.
Like,
But that's the thing, though. Also, but here's the thing. Also, is that if if you're saying that back in the day, like literally before the uh Mortal Kombat 1 was even announced, or actually no, not announced, but like during that announcement and shit like that,
okay,
if you would basically support a game for a period of time, obviously you should keep that promise.
what do you mean? What promise?
Because the way I see it is that I feel like he's gonna run it for 3 years instead of two.
MK1?
Yeah.
Okay. But,
And I would say that because of the second year will announce probably that Combat Pack 3 or the expansion or maybe both. But then right then and there, that second year will gather all of that together. And yeah, then afterwards go for the game because like I said, everything that they have already planned out, they have to execute it if WB is funding them.
I don't know,
Because
man.
they're the one that pitched the idea to them. If they
I
pitched that whole idea to them, that would mean that personally, you know, yeah, they have to execute it.
but I mean, companies shift priorities all the time. Like I said, WB, they've been getting beat up. They've been getting beat up out here.
Oh yeah.
And if
Oh
that's the
yeah.
case, if I know if I was an executive for WB, I'd be like, yo, what would make us the most money right now? And if they looked at the numbers and they're like, okay, when we put out a new Mortal Kombat, that makes us more money instead of trying to support the current Mortal Kombat, that'll make us some money, but it won't make us as much. Then I'd be like, yo, Ed, I dig that you wanted to support this for a long time, but we're pulling the plug, and here's your budget for the new Mortal Kombat. Start doing that. That's what I would do. And I'm not an executive, so if if that's what I would do, I'm
No,
guessing that's what
I
WB would
understand
do.
completely, but I mean, but that's the thing though. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they do have it. It's just I feel like it's just the matter of time and the execution of the whole procedure. And as of right now, the way I see it, the way that it looks like and everything, yeah, this game is not over.
And I think more than anything else, I think what would actually make a difference when it comes to these decisions is the amount of money that we spend. Obviously, if you want Mortal Kombat 1 to continue, then maybe buy a skin or two or something like that. Like the microtransactions is what's gonna make the company decide to make one decision over another. And if you don't like Mortal Kombat 1, then don't spend any money. And then hopefully that pushes them to realize, hey, people aren't spending money on this, so we just have to go with a new game. So, I don't know. I mean, they just came out with some new skins. By the way, the skins look dope. The MKX Sub-Zero and the
I know,
MKX
right? I've
Scorpion,
seen that. Yeah.
they look dope. So,
But
yeah.
quick question. Quick
Yeah.
question though. Speaking about skins, did you see the MK2 skins?
Oh, right. And then they're doing the movie MK2 skins as well. I did see those.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they look
It
dope
actually looks
too.
pretty enticing, yeah.
They look cool. Personally, I don't like how Scorpion in those movies has like samurai armor on when he's supposed to be a ninja. Like, how are you stealthy with all this metal on you? But other
Yeah,
than that,
that is honest to God true, yes.
but other than that, I think they look cool. I think the skins look dope. And like I said, if you want the game to continue, then buy a skin. That's probably gonna be the best thing to do.
Well, to be honest with you, I was actually thinking about getting a couple of skins to be honest.
Yeah, I want that I have some unused dragon crystals, and I think I may use it to get the Sub-Zero MKX skin because that just
Yeah,
looks.
I think I'm gonna get Sub Zero first, and then I'll go for Scorpion afterwards.
Yeah, they look dope.
But personally, like the thing is with the whole scenario, like between MKX and 11 and 1 and stuff like that, like I mean, I love it, but there is a whole bunch of skins that should be out there right now for um for the DLC. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they have some work
Like,
to do
li-
on skins. Yeah,
yeah,
they do.
because here's the thing. Like, I don't mind that you tried at least put one with Ermac, Cyrax, Sector, Noob, and Takeda. But you couldn't do that shit for Peacemaker, Conan, and fucking like, come on, man.
Yeah, I
At
feel
least one.
I feel like all the DLC characters don't have. Well, no, not all of them, because like you said, Ermac does, but most of them, especially if they're a guest character, they don't have another skin. They just have palettes to their current skins.
Yeah, and I feel like personally, man, they don't have to have a new design. They could have just went with the color.
Yeah, but
Make it like 1,500 freaking what are those silver coins?
the dragon crystals,
Yeah, them shits. Yeah.
1,500. That's what. That's
1,500.
yeah. That's what, $15. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if. I think 1,500. I think $15 for a skin is probably too much. I don't know if I'd be
No,
willing to
no, no,
pay
no,
that.
no. You don't know what I'm. You no, no, no. I'm not talking about like the dragon crystals, like that you have to like spend money to get. I meant like the silver coins that you earn
Oh, the
during like
silver coins. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that doesn't make them any money, so I don't know if they're gonna really invest money
You right.
for it to be
You right. You right.
silver
You right.
currency.
No, you're right.
Yeah, it would be nice though. I would not complain. I would not complain. But speaking about different, the updates of the game, we have T1000 and Madame Bo. Have you tried them? Do you like T1000 and Madame Bo? That's a heavy
Well,
sigh.
no. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm still figuring them out. But to be honest with you, so far, it's been really good. I do like how Madame Bo definitely works more offensive than defensive, so that's actually pretty good. Especially with a guy like me that loves to be on offense.
Okay.
Um, so basically, with that, um, and also the drinking one, that shit's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's hella hilarious. I've actually seen a whole bunch of TikToks about what's it called? Of like as soon as like you took all the three drinks, like how they just stand there, they just like,
Oh, and they're
oh,
like staggering. Yeah,
whoa, yeah.
it's funny.
I just been seeing that, so it's like, okay, all right. So,
Yeah, you know what?
um,
When they come out with something, they go all out and they really make it cool. Like when they T1000 is fantastic. If you ever watched Terminator 2, it's just a treat to see the way he moves, his attacks, just all the little nods to the movie. Like they knock it out of the park when they make something like a guest character in
oh
MK1.
yeah, no, with this, yes, with T1000, they definitely knocked that out of the park. I literally saw a good 13 minutes, like literally a 13-minute YouTube video of them just referencing Terminator.
Yep.
Like the whole time, I was like, wow, they literally referenced all that.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
There's a lot of stuff packed in there, so I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
if we could get
like
more of that kind of stuff, I feel like the game would be. And then I feel like they gotta do something about the UI and giving us rooms. But if they gave us rooms, I feel like this game is at the point where it's a great game. You know, at launch it was lacking a lot, but where it is now, and then if you give us rooms on top of that, I feel like it's a fantastic game.
oh yeah, they've improved so much. Like I literally got it like 2 weeks later its release, and
Okay.
yeah, like I was experiencing like the same stuff that everybody was, and I was agreeing with some of the takes that people were having, but now, yeah, now I dare somebody to say that this is a bad game right now,
Oh yeah, the
because
game is dope.
now it's actually a good game to get into now, especially in this time.
Yeah, which is a shame that the reputation of the game is so damaged because I feel like a lot of people won't come back because of how they felt at launch and you know the reputation it had at launch. So
It's
that's a
the
shame.
toxicity of people. That's where I'm at with that whole procedure. It's the toxicity of people. Like they rather stay toxic than to just like give it another shot.
Yeah, I mean,
I try to get one of my friends back into it just because of Conan and T1000,
okay,
and yeah.
it didn't go well.
No, it didn't go well.
It didn't go well. I'm sure. And you know what? You may be right about the toxicity, but at the same time, right? You only get a one chance to make a first impression, right? And I
Right.
feel like with a lot of people, MK1 just did not make a good first impression. So I'm sure there's a lot of toxicity going on too. I agree with you. And some people are probably just like, man, I already tried that game. There are so many other games for me to play, and I'm just not gonna go back to that one because there's so much competition now. And it's like if you make a bad first impression, it's just like, well, whatever. I still got a list of other games I gotta play anyway.
True, yeah, but
Yeah,
If you're
I
like
wish
only
they
like
would
a
come back.
fighting game fanatic, you know what I mean? But
I mean,
you
even
know,
with that, there's tons of fighting games to put your time into. There's Street Fighter 6,
oh,
there's
of
Tekken
course.
8,
Yeah,
and then there's all the other indie stuff. We got 2XKO, Guilty Gear. Like there's so many things to put your time into. So if you mess up, especially at launch, I don't know, it's rough. But I agree with you. I think a lot of those people, if they gave MK1 a second chance, they might like what they see with the way the game is now.
yeah. Well, I feel like now, yeah, like now people should give it a second chance. I feel like no, why not? Like
Hmm.
it's not gonna hurt you. Like only gonna fucking take some time off of you. That's pretty much it.
I agree. I agree.
But personally, like I just feel like if they're gonna like just like completely still trash Mortal Kombat 1, that would mean only two things: one, they played it and did not like it, or two, they played it at launch and did not like it and they continue to dislike it since then.
Yeah, could be any of those.
That's all I could really say about this whole procedure. And personally, like yeah, everybody can have their opinions. I really don't mind, because at the end of the day, you can't really change nobody's opinion unless you have like some type of wordsmith power and I don't know whatever. But but either way, like I just feel like you know personally, like at that point, like they want to stick with it. That's fine. Whatever. Be my guest.
Yeah, I feel you, man. But you know what? I
And
mean, like you said, I
also,
really hope it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, ultimately, I really hope that we do get a continuation for MK1, and I hope there's a Splinter team working on the next MK, and they really take their time to make the next one have a better launch. Thanks for listening. I hope this was good enough for you to come back to my friend's house next time. But until then, don't get beat up out there.